This is the Out of Time Film Podcast, where your hosts Tom and John discuss everything from blockbuster films to TV and games like there's no tomorrow.
Hello and welcome to the Out of Time Film Podcast. My name is Tom, and as always, I'm joined with my co-host John.
Hello, Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. And this week we are talking about the best films of 2023.
Yeah, this has been such an interesting year for films, really, with animation and filmmakers that come back with their films in such a massive way, with like Greta Gerwig with Barbie, and then Christopher Nolan with Oppenheimer. And then we saw some films this year. They were definitely films. But anyway, we're not talking about like the worst films here. We're going to talk about the best films of 2023. What do you think of 2023?
I agree with you. It's just been a fantastic year for some really unexpected reasons. Films that are created by people with passion and with care, and creatives who really have something to say are doing better. Barbie and Oppenheimer are perfect examples of that. So normally we do our top 10. We're not going to do top 10 this year because frankly, it takes too long and these videos don't do well enough. So we're gonna do top 5 instead.
Top
We're
5,
gonna...
yeah, yay! I there's a lot I wanted to talk about my top 5.
Yes, we'll do honorable mentions, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll do honorable
so
mentions. Yes.
Hey, listen to the end of the video as well because you'll get some exciting stuff, some little Easter eggs just for you. So we're gonna alternate, and we'll stop if either of us have the same thing on either of our lists. So
Yes.
John, start us off. What is your number 5 film of the year?
The number 5 film is Oppenheimer.
Right. Okay. This doesn't appear on my list. Tell me about Oppenheimer.
Right, so this was such a difficult list to make for my top 5, and I thought about Oppenheimer and the way it left me in the cinema. It was so existential and quite relevant today about where the world is heading to, and it's quite terrifying, and the message is just really strong in the film, and it just left me like, damn, this is the most existential piece from Nolan. I mean, there's Interstellar, but this one just really hits with the emotions. And I started reading American Prometheus, what Christopher Nolan was trying to pick out from the book into Oppenheimer's life. And I've been reading the script, and I thought that was just an interesting formula that Nolan was using, was the first person perspective in the script, because it's like an objective view of the script. But this is from Oppenheimer's perspective. But as I learned about the movie and the score by Ludwig Göransson, and I thought that was just incredible that the score was able to capture this feeling of like existential threat to us with mankind, but also we're following on Oppenheimer's perspective. And I love the film that switches perspective with Strauss, and the cast is stacked. But I loved how the story was hitting the emotional beats, and they just linked into this existential feeling across the film. And that was just something that it couldn't left my mind, and it's the reason why it's in my top 5. It just left me so devastated.
I couldn't agree more. Oppenheimer is amazing. We did a video on it, so if you're interested to hear our full thoughts about Oppenheimer, it's right there. Nolan makes so many interesting and hard-hitting films, but I think what makes this especially devastating is that this is real, this happened, and I've heard so many people who have been really moved by it, and I think that is so fantastic. So my number 5 is Babylon.
Oh, interesting, because that's also on my list.
Okay, right. Okay, so we'll move on to your number 4, and we'll circle back to Babylon. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Asteroid City.
Oh, brilliant. Wow, yeah, no, that doesn't appear on mine, please.
Oh, what?
Asteroid City.
Oh, no way.
I know.
This left me like, so it's just profound with Wes and the idea of what happens if you don't find meaning in anything, really, and how do we move on with it. And one of the most powerful lines that I heard in the film was like when these two characters were talking to each other and like, am I doing it right with the play? Should I continue it? And then it's like, yes, you should continue doing the play. You are doing it right. You just need to find it. And I felt like this was such an interesting film to go through with the stylistic choices, that the fourth wall breaking, and what makes a film really, and like, are you trying to find the meaning, or are you watching the film? So yeah, it just blew my mind as I thought more about the film and more about how it made me as well. I mean, there was amazing film that's came out this year. This one that I just thought about, like, Wes is trying to make me think.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it twice. I really, really loved it.
Oh, twice. Nice.
Yeah. Again, we did a video on this, so please, if any of these interest you, if you end up watching these films, come back and listen to our thoughts. There's a particular moment at the end across two balconies with this monologue.
Love that scene. I
That if
love
you've
that
seen the film, you know, and Alexandra Desplat's score, the particular track is called A Bewildering and Bedazzling Celestial Mystery. It
So
is
good.
one of the most hard-hitting and poignant moments in any film this year. So my number 4 is Suzume.
Suzume is also on my list.
Yeah. Another one that we will swing back to. I predicted
Okay.
this. I know that even number 3, I know it's on your list as well. Please, okay, John, give me your number 3.
It's Babylon.
Okay, here we go. I'll give you a bit on Babylon, and then
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I just love Damien Chazelle. This film is it's pure insanity, just directed with an insane level of skill. The amount going on in the frame, especially in the first hour, just incredible. But also, there's so much beneath that. There's so much beneath all the noise and all the stuff going on. It's a film about how actors are remembered. How do the stories of real people inform what we see in screen? A lot of the film is about Hollywood and the processes and how it's different back in the 20s to how it is now. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful way to explore the exploitation and the dreams of the industry, because it's all part of it and it's all what makes it magic, but also so bittersweet. And it's all done just to perfection with this incredible score by Justin Hurwitz. I mean, it should have won Best
Yes.
Score at the
It
2023
should have won.
Oscars.
It should have won.
Oh, and I do want to say as well, I see you guys in the comments saying, "Oh, Babylon came out in 2022." Not in the UK, it didn't. So, you know, we got it in
UK.
2023.
Oh yes, Britain.
So,
Haha.
yes.
Yes.
And we also did a video on Babylon as well. So, please
Please do that.
definitely
Yeah.
check that out.
Yeah, I agree. It was just pure insanity. And as I rewatched it on my small screen, the TV, I was like, damn, this hits really hard on the big screen. I don't know why. It just felt like what David Lynch says about like, you can't watch a film on your phone. It doesn't work like that. He goes on a tangent with that, but you don't have the same experience as watching a movie on the big screen. So that was one of the reasons, like, Babylon just left me like tears in my eyes. It was like, damn, this is one of those films that really made me speechless. I love that. I love when films that, you know, you leave out the cinema, you're like, what have I just witnessed? And it was incredible. That is something that I haven't seen for such a long time. You know, like with La La Land, that incredible feeling that we had at the end of, we saw the big words appear at the end in La La Land, you know, like be left speechless.
It's energizing. I don't know if I said this when we did the video, but so we saw Babylon together and then we parted ways and I was walking home and I just started running. I was so invigorated and I was just so pleased with the film. And I know that it's a film that wasn't very well received, but screw that. I think it's incredible. I just started running
It's
home.
incredible. Yes.
And I can't think of such a powerful feeling that a film has left me with in a long time. I just felt just completely alive because of Babylon.
Yes, I completely agree. I just needed to sit down, especially after sitting down 3 hours. But I was like, Jesus Christ, what did I just watch? It was just incredible. And I loved how that was just something that, again, made me speechless. So well done, Chazelle.
What a guy. So that brings me on to my number 3. And I know this is on your list, John. My number
my
3 is
God.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
That's also on my list.
Okay, well, there's nowhere to go now. We know that both of these ones on yours are on mine. So, what's your number 2?
Suzume.
Brilliant. That's my number 4. I want to say, in terms of Suzume, I absolutely love how this film is about the past and the present and how they shape us as people in the moment, but also through memory. So much of the film is about memory. It is spectacularly animated. This year, in terms of animation, has been off the charts. We have a video coming in a couple of weeks on The Boy and the Heron. That film, Across the Spider-Verse, Puss in Boots, just incredible animated films this year. Suzume, it just has these thrilling sequences, and the narrative, it's always combining character and plot, but it has just that precision that, you know, the director, Makoto Shinkai, he doesn't miss a beat. It deals with the burdens that are put on people, whether it be, you know, of a legacy or of a guardian onto a child, or even the burden of a promise, and all these things that just work so well with a narrative that continually keeps you guessing, keeps you on your toes. I was really, really excited for this film, and it didn't disappoint at all. If anyone is a fan of Your Name, which is Makoto Shinkai's, probably his most famous
Your
film.
Name.
Yeah, right. Watch Suzume. Again, guess what? We did an episode on it. So go and watch Suzume and then come back and listen to our episode because it just fantastic, fantastic film.
Fantastic. Yeah, I agree about this film. We follow these characters, especially Suzume, looking back at the past and how do we move on in the present. And the one thing that I absolutely love is the journey, how Suzume changes, with the character development. And the voice acting was just so good in this one, especially for the dub, as we saw. Who did the dub?
Josh Keaton,
There we go, Josh
spectacular
Keaton. That's
Spider-Man
it.
himself. Yeah,
Yes,
I love that.
it was just unexpected, and the emotional beats just hit so hard with the animation. I absolutely loved the magic realism. We go through this world with the doors and the worms as well. Please, if you haven't seen Suzume, please do. It is so good, especially watching on the big screen. It was just an immersive experience to watch.
Absolutely. That brings me to my number 2, and now I know we're getting into territory that these aren't films. And I want to say that sometimes how we receive a film, it comes down to how we connect with a story. My number 3 is Across the Spider-Verse, and we will talk about that, but that may just be the best film of the year, like objectively. I'm not about to say that my top 2 are better than it, but they spoke to me. Same last year, 2022. I thought Belfast was the best film that I saw, but then Cha Cha Real Smooth, it just hit me in the feels. And I think that's exactly the same with the case of these next 2. Number 2 for me was Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
I haven't seen that, so that is something that
Dude,
I need to see really badly. So I heard a lot of good things about this film. So please do tell me why.
I'm still stunned. It's been like a year since I watched this film, and
You
I'm
did
still
talk
just
about this
I
film a
did-
lot, Tom. I'm sorry. And please, I need to watch it.
I have literally nothing to say that I
You were
haven't already
like,
said.
John,
It is
John, you need to watch it. You need to watch it.
John,
And I was like,
please,
there was back in
please.
March, and we were like, okay, I'll see it. And then I saw so many other things.
I mean, I really wish, because we didn't do an episode on this one, and I really wish that we did, because it just it's so good. As I said with Suzume, this year with animation is so good. This film the animation is just on such another level. It's not really a common thing for animated franchises to completely switch up the style of animation halfway through. Obviously, the animation will improve as time goes on, but they completely add so many more layers to the animation. It's so much more different than what we saw in the first Puss in Boots. It's so expressive. It's so colorful. It's so great at depicting speed and emotion, and it's all just so incredible. And not only is the film just this visual wonder, this spectacle, but it is so enjoyable and so well paced and balanced. Every single character, there's a lot of characters in this film, but they're all so layered and well balanced, and they're all kind of working towards this similar goal. And the way that everybody handles their different trials is exactly what makes them all so well defined. It's such a simple thing, but it works so well. But at its core, the film, it's about how do we spend life. It's about death and the fact that death will come for us all, and that you can live your life in regret, you can live your life with greed, or you can spend your life surrounded by the people that you love. Do you want to be seen as a good person? Do you want to be loved by all, or do you just want to be loved by those specific, very important people? These are the questions that the film asks, and I just can't believe it. The first Puss in Boots is a perfectly fine film, but it is not top 5, top 10, top 2 material. But then Puss in Boots and the Last Wish is like, hey, hold my beer. This is one of the greatest animated films I've ever seen, one of the greatest animated sequels, one of the best sequels. It's up there with Across the Spider-Verse and with Shrek 2 and with Toy Story 2. I just can't get over how good this film is, and I can't wait to watch it again.
Wow. Okay. That is going on my list to watch.
Just put it on the top of every single list that you have. If you have a list, like the to-do list, number 1 is Puss in Boots and the Last Wish. Before you give your top 1, I want to know, give me some honorable mentions. Just some films that you've
Okay.
seen this year that didn't make the cut, but yeah, like give us some honorable mentions.
Well, first, I finally saw Godzilla -1, so that's an honorable
Me
mention.
too, me too.
That was such a banger. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you make a Godzilla film. It was just like,
Yeah.
it hits so hard. The emotional beats about humanity against this giant creature and the special effects, it was really good. It was just so well made and took really care. Like, this is something they really want to make. It was just so immersive with the story as well. So that was a banger. What about you, Tom?
Godzilla
Oh,
is absolutely on there. You just had an idea. What's your idea? What's your honorable mention?
Bottoms.
Bottoms. Bottoms is, we are yet to do a video on Bottoms, but it's coming. I promise.
It's
Bottoms
coming
is
soon.
fantastic.
It's coming soon.
Yeah, it's an absurd queer masterpiece. It's hilarious. It's
Yeah.
it's so great just to see queer people having fun on screen, in that way. Other honorable mentions I've got The Fablemans. Just
Oh,
again,
yes.
again, this came out in the
Again,
UK in
yes.
2023. I promise. Same with Puss in Boots. All these films that you think that came out in 2022, they definitely came out in 2023 for
Yeah.
UK. It's just a film about passion. It's a film about how we view the world and about how we view our family and the power of cinema for the good and for the bad. It's one of Spielberg's best films,
Yes.
which is saying a lot. I just adore it. Another one that I have is Pearl, brilliant horror
Oh,
film that
Pearl.
is just
Yes.
simple yet
Okay.
effective. Second in the X trilogy. Yes, I know it came out in 2022 in the US. I know, but it came out 2023 here.
Yeah.
Just another, set in like the 1920s. Just another really, really, really great one.
Yeah, one that I really loved that didn't make it into the top 5 was The Creator. That was something I really liked in terms of like world building, in terms of like the video. If you haven't seen that, please do. We do talk about these
Another
films
one.
as
Oh yeah,
well.
we also did The Fablemans as well. Another film that we did this year, one of the best, Nimona. Another animated
Oh, Nimona,
classic.
banger,
Just
banger.
brilliant, just about
And
friendship and expression and fantastic.
and The Boy and the Heron, that is also in my top
Oh,
10
The
as
Boy
well.
in the Hair. Exactly. Just so many. Final honorable mention from me. We didn't do this on the podcast, but it's just Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Just a really, really,
Oh,
really
I need to see that
fabulous
one.
tale. Yeah, I want to say it's on Prime in the UK, so definitely give that a watch. It's just about adolescence and growing up and about being a woman and confusion with religion and how do we express faith in the world. The whole film is just fantastic. So without further ado, John, drum roll please. I already know what it is. I figured it out. What is your number one film of 2023?
Across the Spider-Verse.
What?
Yeah. What?
What
No
a
way.
banger.
What
Who
a
would have
banger.
thought it? This is at my number 3, but I will let you start.
Okay, so Across the Spider-Verse. This film, I think this might have been my most anticipated.
Yes, when we did our
Yes.
anticipated movies video last year, we both said Spider-Verse is number 1.
Yes. When the film was about to come out and we've heard like so many praises about the film, I'm like, is it supposed to be that hype? But Spider-Verse deserved that hype. Oh my god. I've never felt so hyped watching a film, with Daniel Pemberton's score, with the soundtrack by Metro Boomin. Like, that was a banger, by the way. Metro Boomin's soundtrack was so good. With the story, that's focusing on Miles, that is he supposed to be Spider-Man with Fate, and it was just bringing really interesting concepts, and it just brought them all together with the spark, but also with the alternate, different universes as well. And we all felt that feeling, at the end of the film, and it says to be continued. Everyone in the cinema was gasping like, "No, we need
Oh
more.
my
We need
God,
more."
what a cliffhanger. I mean, this is how you do a part 1. A lot of comic book films, especially this year, they try to set things up, they try to hype you up at the end. But then with this,
That's
it
how you
really is.
cook.
And I know that Beyond the Spider-Verse has been delayed, but my God, take 10 years if you need to, because this deserves just the greatest satisfaction.
It was so unexpected with the story. That is such an incredible movie from start to end. I left really sad, like, we have to wait until Beyond the Spider-Verse.
I really hope that the payoff for Beyond the Spider-Verse is worth the few years that we're going to have to wait. I agree with everything you say. It's an exploration of destiny, what's written, and doing your own thing despite what others think you should do. Miles's journey in this film is so interesting, and also all the other characters. Much like Puss in Boots, it's a film with a lot and lots of things going on, a lot of characters, but they kind of balance it all perfectly. And the animation is just next level beautiful. Unfortunately, the
So
crunch
good.
on the animators was,
Yes, I'm aware of that
insane.
as well.
Yeah, and that is something that we have to say. Just start treating your animators fairly, please. Hopefully, the
Please
fact
do.
that they are delaying Beyond the Spider-Verse means that they will give it the time it deserves, because truly, this is some insane work, and
This is massive. So
it really
it,
is.
it's crazy that they had to do crunch time for Across the Spider-Verse. Why would you not like treat your animators or VFX artists the time they needed to perfect, with the special effects or the animation?
2023, fantastic year for film, but it is very important that we say, as good as this year has been, there's been a lot of mistreatment of writers, of actors, of animators, of VFX artists, of so many different points in the industry. And it's just unacceptable. Studio heads have so much more power than ever before, and that's just not okay. The thing that makes this medium, this format so beautiful is the creative talent and given time for that passion to come out and not be overworked. So that is something very important, that the strikes may be done, but it's still as important as ever that we preach that good message. So my number one is Rye Lane.
Oh, as I was like scrolling through Twitter, I saw your tweet about Riley, and I was like, okay, he's talking about it. And now here we are with this. I haven't seen this film, so do talk about it.
Yes, so it's on Disney Plus in the UK. I'm not sure beyond that, but I'm pretty sure it's still on there. So definitely, everyone, please watch it. It is such a vulnerable and human story about loss and grief, and how that is something that we can use to connect with others. We all have insecurities and we all have things that we struggle with, but that can be something that we can move beyond, that we can eventually be lifted up. It's a story about all of that, but it's done with style, it's done with speed, it is done with color, and I love all of that kind of stuff. This is one of the most expressive films of the year without being animated, without being, a huge, visual spectacle. It still manages to be all like that. The director, Rain Allen Miller, just injects this film with such humanity at every level, while also making it really, really energetic, as I say. Love and life is complicated from every angle. Nothing is black and white. There are grays everywhere, but we can find color, we can find enjoyment from all of those different angles. We can always find something that means something to us. And I didn't expect that. I didn't expect to be hit with such big things from just a film that I was like, oh yeah, this seems fun. And then I watched it and I was like, whoa, amazing. But it's not like a depressing film. It's still a film that is really, really enjoyable, and it's funny. And the cast they have such good chemistry with David Johnson and Vivian Opara. They just have this amazing chemistry, and they're really believable as the leads in this film. And I'm so, so glad that I watched it, because I feel like it preaches such fantastic messages, and my life is brighter because of the existence of Rye Lane. So that's my number one of 2023, and that closes out our coverage of 2023 fit. Well, actually, not really, because we still have some other, but it closes out 2023 essentially on the podcast. What a year it's been.
What a year. Do you want to briefly talk about the most anticipated things that you're excited for 2024?
No, John, because next week we are doing our most anticipated films of 2024. That's right, everyone.
Oh yeah,
There's a lot coming, so
there's a lot
strap
coming.
in.
We would not have time to talk about it because I was just like, do you want to talk about
I thought you were teeing me up. That's brilliant. That was, we didn't plan that, guys. That was just one of those beautiful moments. Thank you,
Yes.
everybody, for listening. If you're listening on YouTube and you enjoyed it, you can like and subscribe if you want to see more. And if you're listening on Spotify, you can follow and give us a 5-star review if you think we're worthy. Next week, as I said, we're doing the most anticipated films of 2024. Tell us, what are you excited for? What are you a bit worried about? We're not just doing the best stuff. We're also going to be talking about some of the stuff that we are a little bit concerned about. So, tune in next week for all of that. You can send us an email, alsteinfilmpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts on next year, the landscape of film in general. We're going to just talk about it all. Ask us any questions, we'll answer it right here on the podcast next week.
Yes. Also, I was about to make a joke about the most anticipated thing that you're excited for, Tom.
What is it, John? What is it?
The Armageddon movie.
Whoa! He did it!
Oh
He
my
did
God.
it!
Okay.
No
okay.
one will understand that. No one will. If anyone understands that, well done. Well done. You. That's a podcast deep
We're
cut, that
now.
is.
Okay. Yes, you can follow us on Instagram at Out of Time Film Pod to see our incredible thumbnails from Zane Asfal. On Twitter for more thoughts from Tom, and TikTok to see edited clips, which are all also on Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. And you can find that all the description below. Thanks to L. James Mayer for the excellent theme and Ronan Phillips for vocals as always. And I think that's everything. And yeah, that is everything for 2023 with the movies. And Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year. I hope everyone is doing well and excited for the year to come. And
Yes.
thanks, John, for making 2023 on the podcast a great year. Thanks
my
to
heart.
everybody listening. We've had some really big hitters this year as well. Our best Doctor Who episodes video, our Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom video, our Captain Marvel video, our Barbie video. Just great to see people getting stuck
Yeah.
in. So yeah, also share the podcast if you're enjoying it. Everyone's turned off already, so it's fine. No one's listening to this bit, but yeah, I think that's all for
Well,
us.
they're gonna find like hidden gems, for the
Yeah,
closing
exactly.
bits.
Listen to the end, guys. It's always what we shouldn't say. We should say that at the beginning. Listen to the end.
Listen
Wait,
to the- okay. wait,
I'll edit this in. Okay, right. I'll edit this
wait,
in.
how?
Hey,
Wait.
what?
How are you gonna put this at the beginning? Because then people are
I'm
gonna
just
be
gonna
like,
I'm just gonna edit like a call to listen to the end. Right, okay. Hey, listen to the end of the video as well because you'll get some exciting stuff, some little Easter eggs just for you. Boom.
here's
Boom.
the podcast lore.
It comes full
Ooh.
circle. It's like Tenet. It's like Tenet. Any one of you
Yeah.
on a Peloton right now, you may not understand it. Did you see that? Did you see that thing with the Peloton?
Christopher Nolan, and then the instructor was like, I don't understand that film. I wish I could get those
Christopher
arrows
Nolan,
back.
he's just trying to work out. He's just like just peddling his life away. And he's just like, oh God. And the instructor's like, who made this movie, man?
Who made Tenet? And just like, and Christopher Nolan's like, I need to do exercise more.
That's the
I
dream.
need to.
Christopher Nolan's next film will be about Peloton.
Oh
Mark my
God.
words.
That
Oh
would
yes.
be like, and he'd be like, how did I get an inspiration for this? My instructor.
Dedicated
Yeah.
to my instructor. Rest in peace.
Wait, what? Why?
They
Why?
they Peloton's too close to the sun, John.
No, the instructor was Icarus. No.
Ah,
Ah!
God damn it. Wow, what a
What
time.
are we
Okay,
talking about?
we should stop. We should stop
Okay,
now.
we're going crazy. Take what you're given.
Give nothing back.
Goodbye.
I'm gonna call Christopher Nolan. I'm gonna get him to do it. I'm gonna pitch it to him. Goodbye.
Peloton, Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye.